Hey guys! So I'm finally able to make videos again, which is really nice, because I got a new charger for my laptop, and it's so nice to be able to use a laptop instead of my phone for everything. Yeah, so past few weeks have been good, have been extremely tiring, and I came down with the flu last Tuesday. So that was not fun. I had to miss one day of classes and then just sat and watched the next day. I'm still a little groggy getting over it, but I mean I feel fine. Just my throat. But yeah, so a few weekends ago the company was doing their Christmas show, Journey of the Magi, so we got to go and kind of help set up for that and do little jobs that they needed us to do. So my job was lighting and welcome committee. So I helped set up the lights, and then before the show they had like certain special guests come that were invited, and I had to like walk around and just talk with them, answer questions, make them feel welcomed, and so that was fun. I got to meet some really cool people, and and they had mulled wine and minced pies, which are very like traditional Christmas thing to have here. So the mulled wine is basically hot or warm wine with like this orange apple spice to it. I did not care for it that much, but it's like a big traditional thing here. But just warm wine was just not good. So yeah, it was just too weird for me. I just didn't like it. But and then minced pies are like these little pies with fruit filling, and they're okay. A little, I don't know, a little sour, a little too sweet. Just not my cup of tea. But very traditional Christmas kind of treat that you get, or dessert. Yeah, and then what else? So a few weeks ago, Hannah and I, the buses and the transportation and everything was absolutely terrible. And it took us 3.5 hours to get to the dance studio when it should have just taken us an hour and a half. So that was just awful. But like such a huge blessing came out of it and made it totally worth it. So the morning of, Mom had sent me in my package, she sent me like this, it was like gloves, a toboggan, and then like a headband thing, and it was like a set she got from like Walmart, so it was all the same pattern. So that morning I tried on the hat, and it was too small because it didn't come all the way down, and I didn't like, just half my ear was sticking out, so I was like, this is not gonna work. But the headband did. So I put it, we were on the way out the door, I had the headband because I had worn it the other day, so it was still in the pocket of my coat. So I shoved the hat into my bag and then just put the headband on. And so yeah, so we waited for like 40 minutes for the train. It was 40 minutes delayed, and then we get on the train, and then it says that it's going to terminate at the next stop instead of going to our stop. And the last time that happened, I was by myself, and like, you have all these people going to try to get this other train, and you can't get on because there's so many people. So I told her, I was like, Hannah, we're better off just trying to get a bus. So we had to stand on that train for over an hour, and then we get off, we go wait for the bus. Then the bus is like, this bus is terminating at a certain stop, and it was like one stop before ours. So then we're like, well, we'll just get off here at the next stop and get the bus behind it that will get us to where we need to go. So we have to like walk and find this other bus stop, and it's raining and cold, and we're just soaking wet and so tired and just like want to go home by this point. But so we get to the bus stop, and there's this little girl there, probably like 12, 11 years old, and her hair is just soaking wet, and she doesn't have a hood attached to her coat. So she has a coat on, but she doesn't have a hat, she doesn't have gloves, she doesn't have, she just has her school uniform on, so it's like a skirt, so she has like bare legs from the knees down. Her boots are completely soaked, and she just looked so cold, like a wet kitten or something. And so I was looking at her, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to say something, like, when it comes to kids, you know. So I was just like, sweetie, are you cold? And she was just like, mm-hmm. I was like, how long have you been waiting here? And she was just like, for ages. And I asked her if she had a hood on her coat, and she said no. So then I was like, well, do you want my scarf? And she was like, no, it's okay, I'm fine. And then I was like, oh man. And then Hannah goes, oh, your hat. And so I was like, yeah. So I pulled my hat out of my bag and was like, would you like a hat from America? It still had the tag on it, I think, from saying it was from Walmart. And I was like, it's too small for me, here, take it. And she was just like, oh, thank you, and just like ecstatic to have like a toboggan from America, Walmart nonetheless. And so she put the hat on, and then so we started talking to her. Come to find out, she had just come from the doctor's and found out she had a broken toe. So we were just like, oh my gosh, this poor kid, this is just not her day. So she obviously had it much worse than we did. And so we like stood there and like prayed over her foot, and then right after we were done praying, her bus came, and she got on and realized that she didn't have enough for the bus fare to like pay for her bus. And we were just standing there looking at the bus driver like, you better let this girl on, kind of thing. And sure enough, he did. And he just asked her where she was going. She said, you know, where her school was. And he was just like, yeah, come on. So she got a free bus ride as well. So so afterwards we were just like, okay, that made it all worth it. You know, that was why we were late and why all this happened. Because we didn't tell each other, but we were both like praying at the same time in our heads as we were walking, like, alright, Lord, if you want us to like see somebody and talk to them, like make it very clear, so that, because we're both just tired and frustrated. And so that was just like such a sweet moment. And then afterwards we went crazy, because we were standing there waiting for that bus forever, and just started singing at the top of our lungs in the middle of this neighborhood, basically, and changing the words to I dreamed a dream, saying I dreamed a dream that my bus came by. And yeah, finally our bus came. We were on it forever, made it to the dance studio, and we were just like exhausted. And we looked at the time when we got there, and we walked in the door, and we were just like 3.5 hours of traveling. Like, it was awful. But at the same time, like, we both thought about it, and, you know, we just were like, that girl just made it totally worth it, you know? So, when I was telling Mom and Dad about it, they were like, oh, we'll have to send you more toboggans, and you'll just have, like, a toboggan ministry. Just walk around the streets and be like, who has a wet head? Who wants a hat from America? And, like, just make it a ministry. Pray for people and give them hats when they look cold. Which actually could be really cool. So if you'd like to donate hats to my ministry, you can mail them at... No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so Monday is our last day. It's Hannah's group's graduation. So it's really sad, but I mean also really exciting to see all their pieces, and yeah, to hear final like presentations and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna be a good day, but really, really hard, really sad at the same time. But it'll be cool to see like where everybody goes, you know, in January, where everybody ends up. So it's exciting. yeah, and then Tuesday we have a photo shoot for, like, to get ready for our tour, and to put on, like, posters for that and stuff, so that should be fun, except for the fact that when we asked them what the backdrop was going to be, she said it was going to be just plain white backdrop, and I looked at her and I said, great, it's going to look like floating clothes when I jump. And they were like, oh no, it's fine. I was like, you don't understand. I've been asked multiple times by people when I wear shorts, Chrissy, why are you wearing ballet tights? I'm not. These are my legs. This is what they look like. I made Maggie laugh. She's our choreography teacher. And she was just like, oh my gosh, are you serious? I was like, yes, multiple times. I've been asked that question. So, they're like, oh, it should be fine. You could wear leggings or something. It's like, okay, I'll look like nub legs, no feet. Just like, oh my gosh, so it should be really funny. But, so I had to go shopping today because they want, like, earth tone type clothes, and I don't have a lot of clothes, obviously. I couldn't bring a lot, so a lot of my clothes, like, that are flowy, that they want are more, like, pastel-y colors, and so, yeah, it was just, bleh. So I got, like, a skirt and a top today, so hopefully that'll work. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all that's been going on. Hannah and I got asked to dance at church on the 22nd, so that'll be exciting because we usually don't get to dance together at Springs, so it'll be fun to choreograph a dance together. And yeah, I think that's all that's been going on. Not much has happened, I think. I really feel like there's something else to say, but I can't think of it. But, oh, we had our Thanksgiving meal, which was absolutely amazing, and they decorated the table and everything, and, yeah, and then we watched the Thanksgiving episodes of Friends, and it was so much fun, and, yeah, just an awesome Thanksgiving. Hannah went up to her dad and was like, yeah, Dad, I think we should have Thanksgiving every year. So it was so much fun, and I walked in to, they wouldn't let me in the front room to see, like, the decorations and stuff until the food was ready. So then we're bringing the food in, I walk in, and, like, the table just looks gorgeous, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, this is awesome, and then Hannah puts on music from the computer, and it's, like, some country's version of, like, the Star-Spangled Banner, and then the whole, like, this land is your land, this land is my land, like, all these, like, American songs, and I was like, I was dying laughing. I was like, Hannah, we do not listen to these on Thanksgiving. Like, she's like, oh, I'm sorry. But, so we had a good laugh over that, and then, yeah, it was just really funny. And then on actual Thanksgiving Day, we had to go set up for the show, and then afterwards we all went over to one of the girls' houses because she lived close to the church that we were at, and we got chips or french fries, but they're like big thick ones, and they do chips and gravy, and so I was like, okay, it's basically like mashed potatoes and gravy. And then we managed to get the ingredients for pumpkin pie, and a British girl and a Japanese girl are the ones that made it. The Americans had nothing to do with the making of it, and it came out so good, actually. It was like probably one of the best pumpkin pies I've ever had. So I did get pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. It was awesome. So it was a great, yeah, good Thanksgiving this year. So yeah, and so now we're just getting ready for Christmas and seeing all the Christmas lights and hearing about different Christmas traditions here, and so it's exciting. Yeah, I'm just so excited, and yeah, so I love you guys, and yeah, you can still donate money on the GoFundMe page, which is up on my Facebook page, or if you want the link or anything, just let me know. So, yeah. I was, yeah, okay, never mind.